we'll start off in India, and yeah, we've got the IPL, which fair to say it's in full swing now. Peter, have you been enjoying the action so far?
I have. I've actually been really enjoying this IPL. I think first of all, what I really appreciate is that it's back doing the playing across the country. I know for the last few years, because of COVID, they've not really had that liberty to be able to play so freely across the country. Indeed, even in the country, let's not forget 2021, maybe even 2020 as well. They played it in the UAE. So yeah, I feel like we've been treated to not just the cricket but the proper Indian crowd as well, which is always part of the spectacle. I think that if you want to go to the amount of games that have been really batter friendly, the number of times that teams have got towards 200, I think the Royals, Rajasthan Royals, which are my team, mainly because of Joss Butler, I think they've basically posted around 200 every single time they've batted, and Joss Butler and Jaiswal look as if they've just stepped off the nets, the practice nets, and are just clipping balls into the stands for fun. Really enjoying watching the Royals at the moment. But there were two games that have been recent, thankfully for this podcast. Maybe hopefully anyone listening to it as this podcast comes out will know that the games we're talking about as well. It will be fresh in the memory. That have been particularly good or particularly eye-catching. There was, of course, yesterday's one, which I know we'll get onto. With, I'm just trying to think now, who was it? I've got it written here. RCB and Lucknow. But the game before that was with, not the game before that, actually. It was the Gujarat Titans and Kolkata Knight Riders. 29 to win off the last over, bearing in mind that Rashid Khan as well had taken a hat-trick in 2-3 overs before this. So Rashid Khan's taken a hat-trick. You're down to your last few players, 29 to win off the final over. Paddy, were you watching? Did you see it?
I did. And, you're there thinking when, in any format, if a player gets a hat-trick, you're kind of thinking, well, surely that's going to be like the spell which everyone's going to be talking about. It's not going to get eclipsed. But of course it was. And, you're watching it live, and it's like, when you get these, when you get the consecutive sixes, but we just said, Rinku Singh, he's gone in the last over of an IPL game, packed crowd. I mean, you could argue one of the biggest sort of high pressure environments in cricket, and, you're thinking you got 29 to win the match. You're there thinking, just go for it, just start swinging and just get as close as you can, but see if the almost impossible can be achieved. And Rinku Singh's gone out and he's thought, yeah, I can do that. And he's hit these 5 consecutive sixes. And, I just think you're watching it live and it's like you get one and you think, okay, he's got his eye in, he's ready. Yeah. Then obviously the second one comes and the third one comes, and you just think the momentum shift in the confidence. It was the swing. It was just incredible. It's like with each delivery, you could just see it was almost like, the heads are just dropping, and the Gujarat are just. It's like with every six, they're just, the fielders are just. You can just see this, like they don't know what's happening. Because you can't be too naive, obviously, but I mean, I think nobody wants to admit it, but going into a T20 game, if you've got a lead of 29 runs, you're thinking, we've got this. You're not saying it out loud, but you're kind of there going, I think we'll be okay. We've got a lot of runs to play with. But I mean, just for for the drama and just the, to see that happen and just see like the confidence of like one batter just erode the confidence of a whole field and team. It was just, it's what the IPL's all about. But no, I mean, it was fantastic. I mean, it's already been such a brilliant tournament to watch, and that spell of batting, it will take some beating. But with this IPL, the chances are next time we record, we'll be talking about something
Yeah, there'll be
something
something
else
else.
insane what's
Yeah.
happened.
Oh yeah, of
Yeah.
course.
Um,
Yeah.
I, yeah. I don't know what were your thoughts, Pete. Were you sat there just thinking like, surely not after each six? Because I know I was.
Yeah, well, I mean, you said about Rashid Khan as well, thinking that he'd be the big star of the game. Let's not forget as well, like Gujarat had scored 200 in the first innings. So first of all, pretty impressive effort, and then the KKR, I think it's Venkatesh Iyer scored 83 from 40 balls, 8 fours and 5 sixes, strike rate of 207. That's pretty impressive, but still he's not the main like talking point. It's still Rinku Singh. There was one thing that came out of the commentary. I think it was Nick Knight that was on commentary at this point, and he was perfect for it as well, saying something on the lines of the coolest man in the entire stadium at that point was Rinku Singh. And you were right about the fielders and the Gujarat team kind of losing their head a little bit, because the first ball of the over went for a single, and then the next one went for a six, and I don't know, I can't remember it off the top of my head exactly, but one person came up to let's think, who was the person that was bowling at the end? I can't think, who was it? Was it Dial? I'm gonna say it was Dial. I'm gonna say it was Dial, because
Yes.
yeah, I think it was Dial. Anyway, so the bowler at the end, one person comes up to him kind of like, okay, like, let's pitch it, because if you think about that first ball didn't pitch. It was a full toss, smacked into the stands. Thank you very much. I'll have 6 to build some confidence. Second ball of Rinku Singh, sixes. Third ball of the over also goes for 6. At this point, if you are someone on that team, you need the captain or you need experienced bowlers to go up to them and just say, like, calm down a little bit. We don't need this to be, you've got this. Pitch the ball, bowl a ball that you've done 100 times out of 101 times. Just bowl the ball, and that's kind of. I don't want to lower what Rinku Singh did, because he still hit 5 sixes in a row, and that's hard to do, even if you've been chucked pies, which he kind of was. But yeah, Gujarat kind of lost their heads. The first ball went for, the first one went for 6. The next one went for 6. The third 6, that's when they kind of truly completely lost it. There was all sorts of people trying to get around the bowler. Fielders, you could just see it. They'd gone. Rinku Singh, though, on the other hand, had just gone into a different mode. He kind of gone into like Ben Stokes mode of just like, right, that's it. Like, I'm finishing this. I'm gonna hit these all for 6. And the thing is that he didn't need to hit the last one for 6. All he needed to hit it was for 4. It was 4 off the last ball. But I mean, it was more poetic that he did hit it for 6, I guess. But yeah, 5 sixes in a row. Very Carl's Brathwaite from that World Cup. Just with a bit less hurt for England fans. Paddy, you said he broke a record. I didn't know this. You please do.
He did. Yeah,
Yeah.
he did. Rinku Singh actually he set a record for the most runs successfully chased in the final over of a T20. Obviously, wasn't just him, but it was him basically single-handedly. He beat a record of 23, which was achieved by the Sydney Sixers against Sydney Thunder in the Big Bash in 2015. Yeah, I mean, I totally agree with, you don't want to take away anything from Rinku. And as you said, I mean, hitting 5 straight sixes, not it takes a lot of doing. No, it's a lot of physical and mental strength. But
At that part of the game as well, to add the
yeah,
final
yeah,
over as
yeah.
well. Yeah, yeah,
It's the final over when you've had in, Kolkata have had in their mindset that they've, from the off, they had to, they were chasing 200, which, even even with the way T20 developed, you know, scoring 200 is still, it's still not something to be sniffed at. Although obviously we're kind of moved to a point now where it just seems like scoring 200 just seems like second nature to some teams now.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, no, it's still obviously a very daunting total to chase down, and to obviously do it at a point where, as you said, they're going into the last over, need almost 30 runs. Takes a lot to do that. But yeah, I think obviously it was that with Dial had that last over. Yeah, I think to say he'll have taken a confidence knock is probably an understatement. It'll be interesting just to see how, when the next time he does bowl, he might not be given the last over. Is all I'm going to say. He might be given
yeah,
given a bit of a break from that. But I mean, it adds to the drama of the IPL, I suppose, doesn't it? I mean, it's been around for what, almost 20 years now, and it just keeps on getting better every year. And just want to go back to your point there about the crowds. And obviously you still had the quality there during COVID, but when you're not in these big stadiums in India where the crowd are just sort of, it's like every ball they're just screaming, and the atmosphere is fantastic, and it's something that you can't really replicate outside of India. I don't think. I
yeah,
always
yeah.
think they're such passionate cricket fans, and to have the IPL back in front of sort of big crowds in India, it's brilliant to see, and it's kind of the quality of the players and the quality of the fans. They're kind of mutually exclusive. They go great with each other, and yeah, it's good to see it kind of back to pretty much back to sort of fully to pre-COVID normality. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you were saying as well about the 200 thing about sort of being a daunting total. Is it anymore? Because the next game, so we had the Gujarat game, which was good, ended pretty well, 200 odd chased. Then we have yesterday, Raw Challengers Bangalore versus look now, Super Giants. RCB go first. RCB post 212, not just 212, 212 for two. Virat Kohli kicking off, Glenn Maxwell kicking off, Faf du Plessis kicking off. Amazing innings. I've watched back the highlights now, I think 3 times, and just can't get over some of the shots. Particularly, I love Kohli and I love Faf, but some of Glenn Maxwell's shots were so dismissive, and he's so quick-handed, like quick through the ball, and it's just amazing where the power comes from. But anyway, so again, it's another thing of like, oh well, Kohli's going to get all the plaudits, Faf's going to get the plaudits, Maxwell's going to get all the plaudits, and then look now reply, and just like, you know what, like, hold my drink, I've got this. Like Nicholas Puran tees off, Marcus Stoinis tees off, Badoni tees off, and they're still not the talking point. They're still not the talking point of the game. This is ridiculous. This ridiculous game is, then they are still not the talking point. For anyone that hasn't seen this game or doesn't know what I'm talking about, just go. You need to find the highlights. The IPL app is really good for it. Sky Sports on YouTube have highlights as well. It's a Mankad. It's another Mankad situation. What were your thoughts? Like, do you think it was a justified Mankad? Because again, for anyone not seen it, spoiler alert, it is, I think, 1 to win on the last ball, 9 wickets down, and yeah, it's the last ball to chase 213. So what were your thinking on that?
I mean, it was just, as you said, it was just absolutely incredible. To it's funny because obviously Mankad, it's had such I feel like it's been the talk of cricket, hasn't it, over the last sort of, let's say about 6 months. Um, and I think to have one, to have it kind of play out the way it did, um, and you're watching it back and you're sort of like, has that happened? Like, has that, have I just watched that? To sort of see it happen live, and it's like, what's he done? How has that happened? I mean, has that ever happened before? Has the missing of a Mankad ever happened in
Well,
such
that's
a high profile game?
yeah. I think that's the thing of it as well, is that he misses. He doesn't. It's not only does he attempt the Mankad,
Yeah,
he misses, and then gets told by the umpire that because you've chucked it at the stumps, it doesn't count. Like, mental.
because it's the thing. Because obviously, for me, it's it irritates me. I find it so irritating, and I think the fact that like it's an attempt at like one of the most sly kind of sly is not too harsh. It's very sly. I think a lot of people would agree that it's a sly way to try and get out your opponent by not doing it in sort of a fashionable way. Um, and yeah, obviously just it's like one of the worst attempts you'll ever see at trying to get someone out in a dishonest way.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
honestly, but yeah, it's almost like you kind of, in a way, it's kind of something what you if it happened in a game, you're kind of pleased it happened in a game with so much drama on it, because it's like it just adds to it, and
yeah,
you
yeah.
know that you look back and it's just like, what an amazing game. But
Well, I'm
you
just
know,
looking. I'm just looking at it as well. So the look now, Super Giants were 23 for 3 as well at one point.
mhm.
Mayer's got a duck. Pandya got a duck. Deepak Hooda was out for not a lot. KL Rahul opening was there till the 11th over and got 18 runs from 20 balls. I mean, the last couple of rounds of IPL have genuinely had such amazing drama. And I said about Nicholas Puran teeing off, I kind of undersold it. He faced 19 balls, 4 of them went for 4, 7 of them went for 6.
It's incredible. Like
Like,
he faces 19 balls and he puts 11 of them to the boundary.
yeah, I just you said it yourself. Like we've been really treated over particularly the last couple of days, but this IPL so far has been really good for high entertainment quality, and excitement. And by the time we talk next, there's going to be more drama. There's going to be more things that we can talk about, and that's pretty good. I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, literally cannot wait, because it's gonna it's gonna rumble on, and then if anything, it's gonna get more dramatic, because as we reach the sort of you get to the end of the group stages and you head towards the knockouts, and it's like that's when it kind of really starts to heat up. So yeah, bring it on.